In the cold, desolate wilderness of Alaska, where survival is a daily battle, Marty Meierotto lived a life many only dare to dream of, one filled with adventure, danger, and profound loss. As the star of mountain men, he was admired worldwide for his extraordinary survival skills and courage. But behind the strong image was a man who endured heartbreaking challenges, near-death experiences, and pain he rarely shared. This is the story of Marty Meierotto, one of resilience, tragedy, and an unyielding spirit determined to carve out a meaningful life in the wild. The dream of Alaska. Born in rural Wisconsin, Marty grew up surrounded by vast forests and endless green fields. His childhood was shaped by nature, hunting trips, and lessons from his father, an experienced hunter who taught him to track animals, set traps, and respect the wilderness. For young Marty, those early mornings in the woods weren't just about learning survival skills. They were the foundation of a lifelong dream. That dream took shape when he stumbled upon an article about Alaskan trappers. The images of snow-covered landscapes and the struggle to survive captivated him. To many, Alaska was a place of isolation and danger. But to Marty, it symbolized freedom, an untamed land waiting to be conquered. At 20, he made a life-altering decision. With little money, a few trapping tools, and nothing but sheer determination, he left Wisconsin and drove thousands of miles to Alaska. He had no plan, only a relentless belief in himself. The first days were brutal. He pitched a makeshift tent deep in the woods, where temperatures plunged below zero. Loneliness became his only companion, aside from the howls of wolves and the whispering wind. His meals depended on what he could catch, a rabbit here, a fish from a frozen stream there. Yet, despite the hardship, he knew he was exactly where he was meant to be. Over time, Marty built a small log cabin with his own hands, creating a simple home in the wilderness. The long, freezing nights under starlit skies taught him resilience. In Alaska's harsh embrace, he found an unparalleled sense of freedom, a place where he could live true to his essence. Mountain men and fame. Marty's life changed when he was invited to join Mountain Men on the History Channel. First appearing in 2012, he quickly became one of the show's most beloved figures. Unlike many reality TV stars, Marty wasn't trying to impress anyone. He didn't seek fame or fortune. He simply lived as he always had. Audiences were drawn to his authenticity. His scenes weren't staged. They were real moments of struggle, triumph, and raw survival. Whether repairing his cabin, setting traps, or braving the elements, Marty never played the hero. He was just himself. What made him special wasn't dramatic stunts or manufactured danger. It was his humility. Viewers connected with his simple joys, the way he found peace in the wild, the satisfaction of a hard day's work, the quiet beauty of an Alaskan sunrise. Through Mountain Men, he shared a message of self-reliance, harmony with nature, and finding fulfillment in life's simplest moments. But behind the cameras, Marty faced struggles few ever saw. Alaska wasn't just breathtaking landscapes and serene solitude. It was also brutal, unforgiving, and merciless. Losses and dangers. One fateful winter, while checking his animal traps deep in the forest, Marty faced one of his most harrowing challenges. A sudden snowstorm swept in, blotting out the sky in a white fury. His snowmobile broke down, leaving him stranded in the wilderness with no phone signal, no help, and temperatures plummeting fast. In that moment, nature revealed its cruelty, a reminder that, no matter how skilled a man was, survival was never guaranteed. These are the dangers that defined his life. Wild animals, work accidents, weeks of isolation. Alaska was as ruthless as it was beautiful. But Marty never saw himself as a victim. He had chosen this life, and he embraced it fully. A legacy in the wild. For Marty Meierotto, Alaska wasn't just a place, it was a way of life. He had transformed his childhood dream into reality, finding purpose in the land's raw and untamed beauty. His journey wasn't just about survival. It was about discovering what truly mattered. His story is more than one of adventure. It's a testament to the human spirit, to the courage it takes to chase a dream, endure hardship, and carve out a life in the last frontier. And though the wilderness is harsh, Marty Meierotto proved that, for those with an unbreakable will, it can also be home. Marty Meierotto faced one of his most dangerous challenges when he found himself stranded in the Alaskan wilderness without a vehicle and no way back home. The freezing cold was deadly enough to make blood freeze, and survival depended entirely on his skills. With no other choice, he quickly built a temporary snow shelter to block the wind and conserve body heat. However, he knew such a shelter wouldn't protect him from the brutal Alaskan cold for long. Determined not to give up, Marty spent 2 grueling days fighting through a blinding snowstorm, desperately trying to find his way back to his cabin where his family awaited. It was one of the many times he came face to face with death, a constant companion in the wild. Every time Marty entered the forest, it was a gamble between life and death. But instead of fearing the dangers, he saw each challenge as a test, a way to prove that human will, faith, and resilience could overcome anything. Snowstorms and bone-chilling temperatures didn't make him hesitate. Instead, they deepened his appreciation for life and strengthened his determination to persevere through difficult circumstances. Marty's greatest battles weren't just with nature, but also with loss. One of the most painful tragedies in his life was the death of a close friend during a trap-checking trip. His friend, an experienced hunter, suffered a fatal accident in the winter wilderness. Despite extensive search efforts from the trapping community, his body wasn't found until the snow melted in the spring. The loss was indescribably painful for Marty, not just because he had lost a friend, but because it was someone who had shared so many of his life's defining moments. The tragedy made him reflect deeply on his chosen way of life. He understood that no matter how well prepared he was, nature was unpredictable and could take away the most precious things in an instant. Yet, even though the pain lingered, it never weakened his love for the wild. If anything, it strengthened his resolve to embrace every moment, knowing that life was fragile but worth living. Another accident nearly cost Marty his own life. While repairing his winter cabin, a large wooden plank unexpectedly fell on his shoulder and back, knocking him unconscious. When he woke up, he was in excruciating pain, but there was no time for rest. He knew that if he didn't finish repairing the cabin, he wouldn't survive the harsh winter. Despite severe injuries, he administered first aid on himself and continued working. Life and death were always at the forefront of his decisions, reminding him of the true value of survival. Every encounter with danger became another battle, not just against nature, but against his own fears and limitations. Time and again, Marty proved that courage wasn't about avoiding danger. It was about facing it head-on. For Marty, just thinking of Dominique and Noah waiting for him back at the cabin was enough to erase his exhaustion. Simple moments, eating dinner together, talking by the fireplace, or playing outside, became his greatest treasures. They were what gave meaning to his struggles. Even when his health weakened from exhaustion, even when snowstorms threatened his survival, the thought of his family gave him the strength to push forward. His daughter, Noah, though still young, was already an irreplaceable part of his life. She was his hope, his reason never to give up. Marty wanted to instill in her the values he held dear: independence, harmony with nature, and an appreciation for life's simplest things. From an early age, he taught her survival skills, from chopping wood to working in the garden. Despite the harsh conditions, Noah embraced the wilderness with enthusiasm, eager to learn from her father. In Marty's loneliest moments, her smile was a reminder that every hardship was worth enduring. Though their life in Alaska was tough, these small, priceless moments reinforced what Marty had always believed: family was the heart of his journey. They weren't just a source of happiness, but a pillar of strength during the most difficult times. Every meal shared, every struggle overcome together, became cherished memories. Looking at his life, it was clear that his survival wasn't just about skill or resilience. It was about love. His family was the force that kept him moving forward, no matter what the wilderness threw at him. Despite his love for nature and self-sufficient living, Marty wasn't free from criticism. Animal rights organizations strongly opposed his lifestyle, arguing that trapping was unnecessary and unethical in today's world. Activists condemned his use of animal traps, claiming they caused suffering and were outdated practices. Yet for Marty, trapping wasn't just a means of survival. It was a way of life deeply rooted in history and tradition. To him, it was about respect for nature, taking only what was needed, and maintaining a balance with the land. Marty Meierotto's life is a testament to the power of human resilience. Through snowstorms, personal loss, near-death experiences, and harsh criticism, he remained unwavering in his convictions. He didn't just survive. He thrived, proving that with determination, love, and an unbreakable spirit, even the wildest challenges could be overcome. In the end, his story isn't just about enduring the wilderness. It's about finding meaning, purpose, and an unshakable will to keep moving forward no matter the odds. Many critics argue that modern humans, with all their conveniences, no longer need to hunt for survival. They believe that trapping causes unnecessary pain to wildlife. However, Marty has always maintained that his work is not just about trapping for sport or pleasure. It is a responsible profession that helps maintain ecological balance in the wilds of Alaska. However, those who admire Marty argue that life in the wilderness naturally involves hardships and dangers. His work, both on screen and in real life, reflects the raw reality of survival in Alaska, a life that constantly tests human endurance without the luxuries of modern technology. Despite the controversies and criticisms, Marty remains steadfast in his beliefs. He holds that everyone has the right to choose their way of life, as long as it does not harm the environment or animals. For him, a life of freedom and closeness to nature is essential, regardless of public opinion. Yet behind his strong and confident television persona lies a man who has had to make difficult emotional decisions. One of the biggest was leaving Mountain Men, the show that brought him global recognition. Many wondered why someone who had gained fame and success would choose to walk away. As Mountain Men grew in popularity, Marty began to feel that the life he once cherished was being overshadowed by media attention. He had sought the wilderness to escape the hustle of society, but constant filming and exposure disrupted the peace he had always valued. The most important factor in his decision was family. Marty realized that the presence of cameras threatened his personal moments, particularly with his wife, Dominique, and their daughter, Noah. "I don't want to miss my daughter's childhood," he shared. "Family is the most important thing to me, and I want to spend time with them." For Marty, no amount of fame could compare to the value of family and a peaceful life. His departure from Mountain Men was not just the end of a TV career, but the beginning of a new, more private chapter. He remained committed to the wild lifestyle he loved, choosing Alaska as a place to rediscover himself, away from media intrusion and public scrutiny. It was a bold but sincere choice, proving that sometimes true fulfillment requires the courage to leave everything behind. Marty's decision to walk away from the spotlight is a testament to his bravery, not only in surviving the wild, but in living by his values. Though he left the show, his image endures as a symbol of resilience, courage, and deep love for nature. His journey serves as an inspiration to those who dream of a life of freedom, reminding us that the hardships and sacrifices along the way are often the price of living a life we truly love. Thank you, Marty, for the valuable lessons you've shared with us. If you love Marty's story, leave a comment, hit the like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss our next videos.